Welcome to Mr. Brain Boost. Today, we're packing our virtual bags and flying first class to France, the land of romance, croissants, and homes that cost more than entire countries' GDPs. From billionaire bunkers on the Riviera to historic castles with more bathrooms than people, we're counting down the top 10 most expensive homes in France. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, or we might just trade your apartment for a castle with no Wi-Fi. Bienvenue. Welcome to the land of romance, fashion, and of course jaw-dropping luxury. When you think of France, what comes to mind? Eiffel Tower, croissants, Chanel? How about chateaux with more bedrooms than some villages, or villas along the French Riviera with private beaches, underground garages for 50 cars, and helipads for spontaneous Monaco lunch trips? Today, we're diving deep into the most expensive homes in France. From palatial estates with royal history to ultra-modern mansions with James Bond-style tech, this list will leave you speechless and maybe even a little jealous. Whether nestled in the sun-drenched hills of Saint-Tropez or standing tall along the Seine in Paris, these properties are where billionaires, celebrities, and royalty unwind, entertain, and sometimes throw parties solely even the paparazzi don't know about them. So grab your Barrett, pour yourself a glass of Bordeaux, and let's take a luxurious tour through France's crème de la crème of real estate. Spoiler alert, one of these homes has a bathtub that costs more than an average house. Stick around till the end for the number one most expensive home hint. It once hosted secret meetings between royals and billionaires, and its price tag will leave your jaw on the parquet floors. Number 5, Chateau Gabriel. Normand estimated value, $20 million. Welcome to Chateau Gabriel. Located in the tranquil region of Normandy, a place famous for its rolling hills, dairy farms, and, apparently, a haute couture estates. This 19th century chateau was once the private retreat of none other than fashion icon Yves Saint Laurent and his partner Pierre Berge. Yes, this wasn't just a place to rest, it was their creative sanctuary. Think fewer pitchforks, more crystal chandeliers, and Louis XVI chairs. Inside, you'll find opulent rooms themed after the novels of Marcel Proust. In fact, one wing of the house is so drenched in French literary references, you'd half expect Victor Hugo to be sipping tea in the library. With period furniture, hand-painted wallpaper, and secret passageways, yes, literal secret passageways, it's not just a home, it's a tribute to French cultural elegance. The gardens, designed by Madison Cox and covering over 70 acres, they're as manicured as a Paris runway model's eyebrows. There's even a private chapel on site because when you're this rich, having a mini Versailles isn't showing off. It's tradition.
Chateau Gabriel isn't just a home, it's what happens when art, history, and money have a baby. A very, very spoiled baby. Ready to up the luxury levels? Let's head south. Number 8, Villa Leopolda, French Riviera. Estimated value, $750 million. OLALA. Say bonjour to Villa Leopolda, possibly the most famous and flamboyant private estate on the Côte d'Azur. Located in Villefranche-sur-Mer between Nice and Monaco, this Mediterranean mansion makes other mansions look like starter homes. Originally built in 1902 for King Leopold II of Belgium, the villa has since played host to royals, bankers, and one unlucky Russian billionaire who tried to back out of a purchase only to lose a $50 million deposit. Oops. What makes Villa Leopolda so special? Let's count the ways: 19 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, 8 hectares of perfectly trimmed olive and cypress trees, a garden team of 50 full-time staff because, obviously, and let's not forget the views. Sitting 400 feet above sea level, you can sip champagne on the terrace and see all the way to Italy, perfect for those should we yacht to Portofino for dinner kind of days. Inside, the home features marble staircases, antique chandeliers, and enough historical charm to make Downton Abbey jealous. Also rumored, underground tunnels, bulletproof glass, and a panic room. Hey, you can never be too safe when your wine cellar is worth more than most people's net worth. Up next, we're trading seaside luxury for Parisian prestige. And yes, things are just getting started. Number 8, Chateau Lambert, Paris. Estimated value, $200 million. Now we're in the heart of Paris, Saint Louis to be exact, where the Eiffel Tower is merely a backdrop to the true showstopper, Chateau Lambert. Despite the name, this isn't a hotel. It's a private mansion. And not just any mansion, this 17th century gem is basically what happens when Versailles and the Louvre decide to co-parent a baby. Designed by architect Louis Lavaux and painted by Charles Lebrun, the very same guys behind the Palace of Versailles. This place is dripping in so much history it probably has its own Netflix documentary in the works. Past residents include Voltaire, Chopin, and some serious Polish royalty. In recent years, the Qatari royal family bought the place and poured hundreds of millions into restoring it, which reportedly included moving ceiling frescoes with the same care usually reserved for Bab. Why pandas? The interiors are so ornate that they make your average 5-star hotel look like a budget hostel. Gold moldings, frescoed ceilings, crystal chandeliers the size of Fiat 500's Chateau Lambert isn't just a residence, it's a golden cocoon of opulence where even the ghosts are well dressed. Security. Let's just say this place is Fort Knox with flair. It's rumored to have underground bunkers, escape routes, and an air filtration system better than most hospitals. And now, let's go to the French Alps where skiing and chandeliers actually go together. #7 Chalet Zannier Peak, French Alps estimated value, $30 million. Think snowy mountains, wooden lodges, and fondue by the fireplace. Now throw in a private spa, a Michelin-trained chef, and panoramic glass walls, and you've got Chalet Zannier Peak alpine luxury with an I own the mountain kind of vibe. Technically perched on the Swiss side of the Alps but often used as a retreat by French billionaires and probably Bond villains, this ski-in ski-out masterpiece is designed to impress. It includes a private wellness floor with a sauna, steam room, and indoor pool, 5 deluxe suites with mountain views so surreal you'll wonder if you're living inside a postcard. A 24/7 concierge service who probably knows your latte order better than you do. And yes, its own helipad, because when you live like this, commercial flights are for peasants. The furniture is custom designed, the fireplaces are remote controlled, and the hot tubs overlook Matterhorn. And the elevator? Glass, of course. Because stairs are for peasants too. Want to sip champagne at 3,000 meters while your private chef plates gold leaf truffles? Say no more. Let's head back to the coastline for the next one, and it's historic, scenic, and 100% French flair. Number E Villa Leopolda, VILLEFRANCHE-sur-mer estimated value, $750 million. Welcome to the French Riviera's crown jewel Villa Leopolda. This 18-acre estate is perched on the cliffs of Villefranche-sur-Mer, overlooking the dazzling waters of the Mediterranean. Think Monte Carlo, but with more money and fewer paparazzi. Originally built in 1902 by King Leopold II of Belgium, hence the name, this villa is less of a home and more of a real-life palace pretending it's just a summer house. Spoiler alert, there's nothing casual about it. Legend says the gardens alone require over 50 full-time gardeners. That's right, 50 people to manage hedges, roses, and lawns, making sure each blade of grass is more pampered than most people's hair. The estate features 19 bedrooms because why not, multiple Olympic-sized pools, a private movie theater, a commercial kitchen, and views so unreal they'll make your iPhone photos look like postcards from a parallel universe. This place has changed hands among billionaires like Lily Saffer, widow of banker Edmund Saffer, and almost became the property of Russian oligarch Mikhail Prokhorov, who famously backed out of the deal and lost a hefty deposit. Ouch. Oh, and the security. Military grade. It's said to have motion sensors on the hills, thermal cameras, and bodyguards trained to spot paparazzi from 2 miles away. Basically, James Bond lives next door and probably feels underdressed. Now that we've soaked in some sea breeze, let's go to Paris again for a residence so grand, it's an actual competition with the Palace of Versailles. Number E Chateau Lambert, Paris estimated value, $200 million. Bienvenue, Paris, where luxury meets legacy in one of the city's most legendary residences, Chateau Lambert. Tucked away on the exclusive Île St. Louis island in the heart of the Seine, this 17th century architectural masterpiece has housed royalty, philosophers, and Qatari billionaires. Yes, it's the kind of address Google Maps doesn't even bother showing the inside, it just says you're not rich enough. Originally designed by architect Louis Lavaux, who, by the way, also worked on Versailles, Chateau Lambert isn't a hotel at all, don't be fooled by the name. It's a private mansion with lavish salons adorned with frescoed ceilings, a ballroom fit for Marie Antoinette's ghost, secret tunnels, yes, actual tunnels, and chandeliers so massive you'd need a forklift to dust them. In 2007, it was bought by Prince Abdullah bin Khalifa Al Thani of Qatar, who undertook a $100 million renovation because why not double the price for extra gold leaf and silk wallpaper? Fun fact, the renovation stirred quite the drama in Parisian society. Preservationists clutched their pearls while the prince installed air conditioning and upgraded the private hammam. Yes, folks, even ancient nobility needs good Wi-Fi and hot steam. Also, rumor has it there's a secret vault that's more secure than a Swiss bank. The only thing it's missing? Probably nothing. Even the ghosts here wear designer. Alright, from the elegant streets of Paris, we now journey to a palace literally fit for a king, one that inspired countless fairy tales. Number of Chateau de Chambord, Loire-Vallée estimated value $250 million. Imagine a castle so grand, so massive, and so wildly ornate that it makes even other French palaces feel like starter homes. Welcome to Chateau de Chambord, a Renaissance fever dream brought to life. Commissioned by King Francis I in the early 1500s as a humble hunting lodge because obviously kings need 400 rooms to chase deer, Chambord is the architectural equivalent of saying, "I have too much money and I want everyone to know it." What makes it so special? A double helix staircase allegedly designed by Leonardo da Vinci himself? That's right, this house comes with a mind-bending staircase that lets you go up while someone else comes down without crossing paths. It's the introvert's dream feature. 440 rooms, 282 fireplaces, and 84 staircases. Because one just isn't enough. A 13,000-acre forest surrounding the chateau, complete with deer and wild boars. Essentially, it's a private national park with a palace in the middle. Moats, towers, and turrets that make Disney castles look like dollhouses. Now, technically, it's owned by the French state, but that hasn't stopped billionaires from throwing massive parties here. Imagine your wedding taking place in a 16th century royal estate with lighting powered by a modern-day Rolls-Royce generator and champagne that costs more than rent.
And here's the kicker, during World War II, this chateau was used to secretly store the Mona Lisa and other priceless artwork. So not only is it a mega mansion, it's also a historic hero. If Netflix had a show called Cribs King's Edition, this place would headline the series. Ready for number 3. We're crossing into the realm of modern monarchy with a palace that screams both power and prestige, in the most British way possible. Let's go! Number 3. Buckingham Palace, London. Estimated value, $4.9 billion. Yes, you read that right, billion, with a B. Buckingham Palace isn't just the home of the British monarch. It's the real estate equivalent of the Queen saying, "Checkmate, peasants." Located in the heart of London, this palace isn't just one of the most iconic royal residences in the world, it's also one of the most expensive homes on Earth. And yes, it technically counts as a home, even if it has its own post office, movie theater, and more security than Fort Knox. Let's take a royal tour, shall we? 775 rooms, including 19 staterooms, 52 royal and guest bedrooms, 188 staff bedrooms, 92 offices, and 78 bathrooms. You'd need a map and a scooter just to find your toothbrush. Ballroom. Check. Throne room? Obviously. Indoor swimming pool? You bet. Rumor has it there's even a secret ATM in the basement. Because royalty needs cash for, corgus and cucumber sandwiches. 40 acres of gardens in central London. While the rest of us are squeezing into studio apartments, the royal family has their own forest with flamingos and bees. Yes, Buckingham Palace makes its own honey. The Queen literally had royal bees. The balcony, the most famous photo op spot in Britain where monarchs wave at the masses and small children pretend to care. And the security? Let's just say it's got more cameras than a Marvel film set and guards trained to protect the crown jewels and maybe your grandma's royalty set. Here's a fun royal twist. Despite being worth nearly $5 billion, the Queen didn't actually own Buckingham Palace, it belongs to the Crown Estate. So technically, the British monarch gets to live rent-free in the most expensive house in the country. Talk about winning the lease lottery. Up next, number 2 takes us from classic royalty to next-level luxury. Think private islands and mega mansions of modern moguls. Stay tuned as we head to the French Riviera for a home so lavish, it makes James Bond's hideouts look humble.
Number 8. Villa Leopolda, French Riviera. France estimated value, $750 million. Welcome to the land of croissants, couture, and colossal villas. Villa Leopolda, perched on the glittering coastline of the French Riviera, isn't just a home, it's a jaw-dropping symbol of European luxury that says, yes, I can park a helicopter on my lawn. Merci beaucoup. Built in 1902 for King Leopold II of Belgium, this 50-acre estate makes other billionaire pads look like urban rentals. Its sheer grandeur has made it the setting for films, the object of envy for royals and tycoons, and the backdrop of some very expensive real estate drama. Let's peek behind the Golden Gates. 19 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms. That's enough space to forget where you sleep or host a sleepover for the United Nations. Massive gardens, maintained by more than 50 full-time gardeners. You heard right, 50 people just to keep the hedges trim. You know you've made it when your grass has a full-time staff. Swimming pools, outdoor kitchens, helipad, greenhouse, and guest houses because your guests need their own mansion, obviously. Panoramic views of the Mediterranean so stunning they should come with a warning. Make us jaw to drop. Once owned by Lily Safra, a Brazilian billionaire philanthropist, Villa Leopolda has passed through the hands of some of the world's wealthiest and most powerful figures. It even starred in Alfred Hitchcock's To Catch a Thief, because nothing says luxury like a Hitchcock cameo. And the best part? It's not just extravagant, it's historically extravagant. Villa Leopolda is essentially a museum of wealth that you can sleep in, if you're a billionaire, that is. Now, prepare yourself. We've toured luxury, we've explored opulence, but nothing can prepare you for what's next. The number 1 most expensive home in France is not just a residence, it's a palace that makes the rest look like pole houses. Number 8. Palais Bulles Bubble Palace, Vieulles-sur-Mer, France estimated value, $900 million. Here it is, the ultimate blend of futuristic fantasy and billionaire indulgence. The Palais Bulles, or as it's affectionately known, the Bubble Palace, nestled into the cliffs of the French Riviera like something from a James Bond dream sequence. This surreal structure is the real-life lair of luxury, designed by Hungarian architect Ante Lovag and completed in 1989. The Bubble Palace is a collection of rounded, pod-like forms, built with the philosophy that straight lines are an aggression against nature. Translation? No boring walls, just curves, spheres, and panoramic sea views for days. But this isn't just architecture. It's architecture that flexes. Here's why the Bubble Palace floats to the top. 1,200 square meters of living space filled with 25 interconnected bubble rooms, each more whimsical than the last. 10 luxury suites, each custom designed by a different contemporary artist, because naturally, your bedroom needs to double as an art installation.
A massive outdoor amphitheater with seating for over 500 guests. Perfect for your next billion-euro TED Talk or Beyoncé's private concert. Multiple swimming pools, waterfalls, and terraced gardens that cascade down to the Mediterranean Sea. Views of the Bay of Cannes so magnificent, they come with complimentary existential awe. Formerly owned by legendary fashion designer Pierre Cardin, this home hosted everything from fashion shows to film shoots to private parties so exclusive, even the champagne RSVP'd. And while it's on the market for a cool $900 million, the truth is, it might be priceless. Because where else can you live like you're floating in a futuristic dream, above the sea, surrounded by bubbles of bliss? So, there you have it, the top 10 most expensive homes in France. From centuries-old palaces drenched in royal history to sci-fi dream houses perched above the Sight Desert, France is home to some of the most mind-blowing real estate on the planet. Each of these mega mansions tells a story of history, power, art, wealth, and in some cases, a wildly expensive sense of humor. Whether it's Versailles-level grandeur or Bond villain chic, one thing is clear: the French don't just live, they live fabulously. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to Mr. Brain Boost for more jaw-dropping luxury, insane wealth, and the world's most extravagant lifestyles. Because who needs a real estate agent when you've got this much drama? So what's next? More unbelievable homes, more ultra-rich secrets, and more luxury you never knew existed only on Mr. Brain Boost. Make sure to like if you're now low-key considering a career in oil, tech, or royalty. Comment your favorite mansion or the one you'd throw the craziest party in. Subscribe to Mr. Brain Boost for deep dives into the world of the rich, famous, and wildly extravagant. Because while we might not all have a palace on the Riviera, we can at least tour them from the couch, one virtual walkthrough at a time. Stay sharp, stay curious, and stay boosted. See you in the next video.